Hello. I'm back. I haven't done a video in a while because I've been busy. But I wanted to update people on stuff that's going on with solar flares. Oh my gosh. It's been intense. Oh, the eclipse as well. We have the eclipse and all these solar flares coming in, which have just been massive. It's forcing us to transform. It's forcing us to shed a lot of things that are related to older timelines. And right now at least for me, I want to talk about some of the things that I've been experiencing the last couple weeks. Like, there's a lot. I've had some really crazy experiences lately that I've not experienced before. Okay, so where do I start? And the reason I don't want to make this video like it's all about me, that's not my point. My point is that what I'm going through, some of the rest of y'all might be going through. So if any of you can resonate with some of the things that I'm experiencing, I want you to understand. I'm trying to help you understand what is going on, okay? So I've recently discovered what's going on because I'm like, what is happening to me? There's things that I'm experiencing physically, a little bit emotionally, but I've gone through a lot of the emotional like purging within the last couple years, and now it's just more of like mental work with working on more on manifesting and creating my reality and altering timelines and all of that stuff, as well as spiritual work, that like clearing and transmuting, and that's more of the stuff that I've been learning and going through lately. I had a reading done by someone a couple months ago. He was like, "This is your upgrade year," and I was like, "My upgrade year?" And he said, "Yeah, this was the last time you were upgraded, and the time before that." Like, he gave me different years or whatever. It's like, "Your next one is going to be this year." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Whoa, okay." I didn't quite understand what he was saying. But then recently, what I've been going through, I can see why this is I'm not trying to like toot my horn or trying to be like, this is what I'm experiencing. This is something that is happening because I decided, I chose this path. I chose to do the work. I chose to do the healing. I chose to let go of things, worldly things that weren't serving my highest good. I chose to listen to my higher self rather than everybody else, rather than listen to the media, rather than to listen to people and friends that are still in low vibration. And that's not to think of them any less. I don't think of them any less than myself, because we're all in this together. We're all going through this. Because I was at that point at one time. But when you are around others who are asleep, quote, and in that low vibration and in that self-serving vibration and that victim mentality and that they're in this cycle of the next thing that's going to make them happy, the next thing that's going to make them feel better, the next thing that's going to alleviate the pain, put a band-aid on the pain, but it never gets fixed, and the only way it's going to get fixed is if you go within. And many people are scared to go within, because going within means facing your true self, facing who you are without anybody else. Who are you? You take away your job, take away your family, take away your friends, take away all your materialistic things that you have, your house, your car, your whatever, your brand name clothes, I don't care. Take everything away, your children, your family, take it away. Who are you? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Can you sit with yourself without anything else? Who are you? Who is your true self? Are you comfortable just being with yourself? Truly being with yourself. And your innate self. And knowing your innate self is your godly self. And your godly self is your connection to God. We're all fractions of God. God consciousness. Okay, so going within, you will meet God when you go within. When you're constantly looking out, I need somebody to save me. Oh, I'm going to latch onto something, this person, this car, this house, this job. It's going to make me feel better. I'm going to feel more worthy when I have these things. But then you find out it doesn't make any difference. It's because you're not going within. You're not. And I tell people, you have to save yourself. No one's going to save you. So, some of the things I chose to go within. I chose to save myself. I chose to be on the spiritual path, to upgrade, to level up. And this is not in an egotistical way. This is not, oh, I'm leveling up. That's not what it is. It's for my own benefit. Nobody else. It's for myself. It has nothing to do with anybody else. This is for myself. What I want for myself. Peace. I want peace. I want love. I want abundance, joy in my life. And I know that nobody else and nothing else can give that to me except myself. So I went within. And I wanted that. I wanted that peace within myself. So I made that decision. Okay. So, the things I'm experiencing in the last couple of weeks, ever since, was it since the eclipse? I don't know. My life, the last couple of weeks have been kind of a blur because I've been so busy. And I've realized I'm almost on burnout because I work a taxi job. I drive taxi in my town, part-time. The other time I'm here at home doing readings online. I'm doing artwork online. I'm sitting at the computer half the day, more than half the day. And then, I haven't had time to actually just spend time with me for the last month. It's just been nonstop. So I'm kind of at this point where and finally, and then, I manifested the perfect match for me to sell my motorhome. And this girl wanted her to make her dream come true. She had the money to do it. And she bought my RV, and it was wonderful. And I said, now you can help me make my dreams come true. And she was great. I loved her energy, and it was perfect. And then I'm okay, I need to manifest now me getting out to Arizona. So I've been working on that. And I'm like, I need this perfect match, right? I have these are tuning forks. I was going to use them in this video, but I will. Just a second. So, so I sold my home, my motor home. I have the money now to move and create the life that I want in Arizona. Only now I have to find a roommate that's a perfect match, and I need to find a place that's a perfect match. So I have to manifest that. Meanwhile, with these solar flares and the eclipse, we're going in and out of different timelines. Because what the solar flares are doing is they're activating frequencies, they're activating us, they're helping us to manifest the world that we want, helping us to manifest the future that we want, and a reality that we want or don't want, depending on where you're resonating at. If you're resonating in fear, you're going to create a life that you don't want. If you're resonating with joy and peace and happiness and faith, then you're going to get what you want because that's what you're attracting. Okay? So, ding. Right. Ding. Okay, so meanwhile, we're all trying to manifest our perfect timeline, right? But as a collective, more people are waking up. More people are learning how to manifest. They're realizing, oh, I can manifest my reality. As more people wake up, as we're going in and out of time, we're going to be going in and out of timelines because more people are manifesting different timelines. And so it's going to get turbulence. We're going to have some turbulence going in and out and up and down. And, so you need to feel the energies out. You need to recognize when is the best time to manifest your reality. Pay attention to what's happening in your life. Is like, let me give you an example. I knew I was getting closer to manifesting my roommate match. Because I had come in contact with a lady that is also trying to move to Sedona. We're not going to be roommates because it's just not aligning. But she said, hey, when you get here, let's hang out. Because she may be moving in with a friend. So now she's come to find out she might be moving in with a friend. So she said, hey, when you get here, let's hang out. I know people here. I can plug you in. Like, okay, I'm getting closer. Then literally this morning, I was thinking, maybe I should give my landlord here where I'm at my 2 months notice, because he wants a 2 months notice before I move out. Because I am month to month, but for some reason he wants an extra month, but whatever. Maybe it's because of the economy, I don't know, but I don't think he'll have any problem finding a new renter because he has a really fairly good price. I really have it good here. So yeah, that's another story. It's made it harder for me to decide to move, but I've decided I'm going to leave. But it took me a while to get to that point because I do realize I have it good here. But I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in Arizona. That's my higher timeline. But certain things needed to roll out in order for that to manifest. There's another thing I realized too, that why I wasn't able to leave until now. But anyways, this morning, I literally thought, I think maybe I should just give my landlord the 2 months notice, and hopefully I'll find something. I'll have to go on faith that I'll find something within that 2 months to get to Arizona, and I'll just start packing and selling some stuff and whatever, and it'll manifest itself. Like, I have faith, right? Because everything has always worked out for me when I have total faith. And I decided, I'm like, I'm just going to take a quick look at Facebook Marketplace before I go into work today. And I found this gal, and I was like, she's looking for a roommate so that we can to find a place together. And she's already in Arizona. She's in Tempe, Arizona. And then the price range that she wanted is exactly what I want. She basically has almost the same kind of lifestyle. She doesn't party, she doesn't smoke, she doesn't drink, she doesn't eat meat. She's, she exercises, like, she loves being outdoors. And I'm trying to get into yoga. Like, that's something, like, I'm working on it, but I've done yoga a few times now and I really like it, but I need to do it more, and I need to structure it into my life. But the thing is, like, I know that once I get out there, I'm going to be outside, like, going on hikes. Like, I just can't wait to spend some time out there in the mountains, going on my bike and going on hikes and seeing all these beautiful places. I still have yet to go to the Grand Canyon, and that's something I'm definitely going to do when I get out there. Maybe one of the first things I do. So anyway, so I found her right after I thought, maybe I'll put in my 2 months notice to my landlord. And then I saw her ad, and I contacted her right away. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And she messaged back. She's like, yeah, let's have a Zoom meeting tomorrow. So we're going to have a Zoom meeting tomorrow. And I'm so excited. And she, I just have a really good feeling about this. But we'll see, I always have the belief that if there's a door that closes, there's always something better coming around the corner. There's always something better. And I believe that, we may not see something that we think is the perfect match, but then, and we get bummed out. We're like, oh, man, I really thought but you know what? Maybe there's something better. It's always something better. If a door is shut, it means there's a better match for you, because you are wanting that perfect match. You are aiming for the highest timeline. You're aiming for that the perfect match, right? So if that's what you're manifesting, that's what you're going to get. Okay. So, and then so here's the other reason I thought, okay. The other reason why I know that I was not able to leave till now, because I had signed a contract with a local gym here, which I've barely been to because I don't have a car. So all winter long, it's like I would have had to take the taxi over there because it's on the other side of town and it's a long distance to walk. And it's like, okay, so it's going to cost me $8 every day to go to the gym. I don't know. I was lazy. I'll admit it, And so, but that contract is going to end this next month in May. So I'm thinking that's it, because I signed a contract. There's something you need to remember when you sign contracts. They're agreeing with me. Yes, thank you. Are you singing with me? She's agreeing with me. Okay. When you sign contracts, either in the spiritual realm or in the physical realm, those contracts are going to hold you accountable. Those contracts are going to be like, we say, we have contract with somebody that we incarnate with together, right? And then we have a contract on certain kind of relationship we're going to have with that person. And until that contract is done, that person's still going to be in your life. That person is still going to keep coming back into your life until that contract is fulfilled. Now they say, oh, you can break your contract. Yes. But there are repercussions for breaking a contract. If, under certain circumstances, if it is, this contract was meant to be for your personal and spiritual growth, and you're breaking it because you don't want to do the work, that's detrimental. And that's not going to be good for you. If you break a contract because the work has been done, it's like, okay, I see the light now. I see what you were meant to be in my life. It's time to move on now because I've learned my lessons. I've grown, and our contract is done. I'm done. I don't need you in my life anymore. Usually it has to do with people that are toxic, but they're there for a purpose. They're there to give you the shadow work that you need in order for you to run to the light even faster and harder. the people that are toxic, they have their purpose. And that is for us to do, the purpose is for us to do the shadow work so that we learn to love ourselves the way that unconditionally, in the way we have to see, like, I don't want this. I don't want to be loved like this. This isn't love, you know? And they're basically mirrors of our ego. And yeah, so a lot of you know that already, but just reverberating. So, what else was I going to say? So now that my contract with that gym is almost done, now this is able to start. It's starting. The ball's starting to roll for me to get to my higher timeline. I really wanted to be there back in the before winter came. I was like, I didn't want to be here for the winter, but I did. And I sucked it up, and I'm like, okay, I'm here for another winter. But yeah, I definitely feel like things are moving along. So then, because I made my decision last week. I was also looking at maybe moving to Florida. But then about midweek last week, I decided, no, I'm not going to do Florida. I'm doing Sedona because that's where I see myself. That's where I've always seen myself. And that's where I've always tapped into that higher timeline psychically. I've seen myself there. So once I made that decision, the next morning, I had this massive, like, pain in my left shoulder, back. It was almost like somebody stabbed me in the back. It felt like a knife in my back. And I'm like, what is this? Why does it feel like somebody stabbed me in the back? And then I thought, well, did somebody stab me in the back that I'm not aware of? Did somebody manipulate me or lie to me, or, so I had to feel this out, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. So I had some ideas of what it might be. So I'm like, okay, I did some meditations. I'm like, whoever this is, I'm not owning it. I'm not owning whoever energy is trying to, like, dig into me. I'm not owning it. It's not mine. That's their own. That is their own problem. That is their own trauma, whatever, that they need to deal with because of whatever decisions that they made. And if they're trying to, I don't know. I was trying to figure it out. I kind of do know, but I don't know 100%. But there's no judgments. There's no, I don't want any negative binds to anybody. And I'm just wanting to release that which is not serving my highest good. I'm just wanting everybody to be released from pain, suffering, trauma. Like, we all make mistakes, okay? We're not perfect. We're learning, okay? And we're all learning this human thing. We're learning to be human the most conscious, higher conscious spiritual way that we have ever been in a long, 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 long time. Humanity has not been this conscious, if ever. Like, we were at one point, but that was when we were, so the first humans that were first created were in 5D, 4D, but then eventually we fell into 3D. Okay, so anyway, I had this massive pain in my shoulder, and it's almost gone. But it's so painful. It was like this. It literally felt like there was a knife stuck in my back. And so last Thursday, I went to get it worked out. I did energy clearing, and I got it worked out. The guy who was doing the deep tissue massage on me, this Asian guy, really good. Oh my gosh, they're so good. But it was also kind of painful because they really dig into you really hard. And but I was like, I need this out of me. While I was laying there, I literally was seeing plugs coming out of my back, like just cords and plugs, and this energy just oozing out of like the side and middle of my back. And then finally he found a knot in the middle of my back, and when he pushed it out, like, I felt this jolt, and it was like, whoa, what happened? And working on it, right? When was it? Hold on, I'm trying to think of something. Okay, so I'm trying to think of something I'm going to say in a little bit, but I'm trying to remember when I had this experience. If it was before this massage or after. I think it was the other day. Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday when I was walking home from work. Okay. So yeah, it was okay, so these experiences have been happening ever since last week. Okay. The experiences that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So while he was doing that, I was in my higher self. I was in my higher self, and I was helping pull out this energy, and I was doing light language and everything, well, in my higher self, not out loud, but, and yeah, just clearing all that. Well, the pain was still there physically, and it wasn't all worked out. I paid for 40 minutes of work, and it still wasn't fully out, but I had to go. And then I had a weekend trip last weekend to Minneapolis because my sister got her master's degree, and there was a ceremony and everything. And so my family, my mom, and her and her husband and my nieces, we all went to downtown Minneapolis and had a weekend at a nice hotel and everything. So there was that. It was like a 5-hour drive out there. So my back was hurting already, and I have 5 hour. I drove most of the way because my mom's like 80. She's going to be 82 this year. So I'm driving most of the way, and I'm like, oh man, it's my back. Like, it feels like just rocks in my, and I'm like, what the heck? I haven't had this in years. Like, and I've never ever had it this bad. And so I've been trying to figure out for the last week what this is, right? And so I thought, well, maybe I'm being unplugged from the Matrix. Maybe I'm being unplugged. And all of these things that are attached to me that were holding me into the Matrix are getting out, and they're being released. And then I asked my higher self, like, what is going on? She said, you're being released from, lower timelines. She told me this. When did she tell me this? yeah, it was Thursday night before we drove out to Minneapolis. She's like, it's lower timelines. You're releasing from the matrix and lower timelines. And I'm like, okay, well that's good. But why am I still in pain? And she told me that I need to give it love. So I've been working on that. And I'm like, I need to detach myself from any lower timelines, any connections to people that are still on that lower timeline. I need to release myself from anything that they may want from me, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Not that it doesn't matter, not that I don't care, but I can't. I've been a people pleaser for many years. And this was part of me letting go of being that people pleasing. And it's okay to say no. If you need time for yourself, it's okay to say no. And I've been helping several people on their ascension path in my life. And some of these people have codependency issues that they're still working out. And I have grace for them. I totally understand that whole codependency thing. But it's like, I can't be your personal Ouija board. That you can message me any time of the day and be like, hey, Kelly, what's this? Like, I can't do that anymore. I can't. Because my attention has to be elsewhere. My attention has to be on me right now. Because I'm literally trying to manifest and jump onto a higher timeline and release. I'm going through my own transformation right now. I can't be, you could do, the reason, how I got to where I am right now is because I spent a lot of time on myself. I always went within. Even when I was going through 10 years of freaking shadow work, I always was going within. I was doing the work. I was working on my psychic. I was always connecting to my higher self. Even when I was going through terrible shit with toxic people, I still would listen to my higher self. I still would listen to my guide to be like, I need you. I need to hear you. So, my psychic abilities are super lit because I put in the time to myself. I didn't go to other people I didn't go, okay, so and so, what do I do about this? Okay, so and so, what do I do about this? Or what is this? And how is this? I'm like, nope, I'm going within. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to connect with my higher self. I'm gonna go and astral and see my guides and my higher self and have them take me to where I need to go to heal myself, to show me things, show me my past lives. Where did I come from? Take me there. So hours and hours of meditation, hours of astral projecting and going places, and you have to commit to yourself. This is a relationship with yourself and God, because God is you, okay? So you have to stop looking at other people, yes, it's good to have a guru in your life, or 2 or 3, but actually it's better to have more than one, because here's another thing. If you only have one guru in your life, guess what's going to happen? And you have codependency issues. You're going to, and they're on their own floaty, they're like, I've done all this work. I just want to float now. I want to swim in my own pool. I want to have my cocktail without alcohol, and I want to enjoy the sunshine. Yeah, I'll help you. Sure, here, I'll give you, here's a cocktail. I'll help you. But then they start swimming over to you, and then they want to hang on to your floaty. And then another one wants to come and hang on to your floaty. And then another one wants to come and hang on. And you're like, I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm going to sink if you don't let go. You need to let go and not be on my floaty, because you need to do your own work. I'll give you advice, but you need to do your own work. You need to go within. You cannot stop. You have to stop relying on me to keep you afloat. You need to learn to keep yourself afloat. And the only way you're going to get to the level that I'm at, and I'm still leveling up, is if you go within and do the work yourself. You're not going to get it until you do it yourself. It's hard. I know it is. So I finally got to the point through this path. This is all happened with this last week, that I realized that, hey, let go of my floaty. I want to float. I want to enjoy my journey now. My life that I've worked really hard to manifest, and be at peace and joy and abundance, and I just want to be in my floaty and have fun. But you're drowning me. Like, I got you. I got you. I love you. I'm gonna give you the tools that you need, but let go of my floaty. Let go of my floaty. Don't hang on to me, please, because no, you're not. I'm not sinking right now. I'm not going to be held back. I'm going down that lazy river. I'm going down the lazy river, and I'm going to have fun. And, I am the example, right? I'm the example. That's what I'm being right now. The example. Before I was the apprentice, but now I'm becoming the master. And I am the example. I am not your lifeboat. I am not your floaty. I can give you tools. Here, take this. Here's another cocktail. Enjoy. Good luck. Here's the ingredients to make this cocktail to help you get through what you're going through right now. Here you go. I'm cheering you on. I'm your cheerleader. You got a floaty. You're doing it. You're doing the work. You're going to be okay. You got your floaty. You got your own floaty because you're doing the work. You're going to be okay. You're not going to sink. I'm right here, floating in the river with you, but you're not going to hang on to my floaty. And I'm going to keep going. If you want to catch up, if you want to catch up, then you got to keep doing the work, or you're not going to catch up. That's just how it is. So this is what I'm realizing. I put my foot down, and I realized when I started doing that, this pain started to get less and less. And I'm releasing myself from a lot of things right now. And anyway, so the experiences that I've been going through since last week. Okay, so I was walking home from work on Tuesday. Great weather, beautiful weather. And all of a sudden, it was like I wasn't in my body. It was really freaking strange. It was like my consciousness I was walking when this happened. And all of a sudden I'm like 3 feet like over here. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? And I realized I was like, well, I'm over here. Oh my gosh. So I had to go back to my body. And I'm like, what just happened? And it happened. Did it happen 3 times? Yes, it did. It happened earlier today. I was doing my taxi job. I got out of my vehicle at the end of my shift, and I was walking into the building where our office is, and all of a sudden, it was like, at first I thought it was this, I didn't know if it was vertical, but I don't think it was, because it was as if this time it was like my energy body went over here, and I'm like, and there were people that were walking this way, and I went over here, and my body's over here, but it was so strange. I don't know how to explain it. And like my physical body, I could still feel it, was starting to fall over. Like I was literally about to just fall and tip over. And then I'm like, oh shit, like I gotta get back over here. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was like my energy body went this way, and then I had to come back this way. And so otherwise I was gonna fall. It was it's so weird. I don't, like, I feel like this is me unplugging from the Matrix. And then when I was walking home again today, it was like I was walking outside of my body, and I wasn't, like, my consciousness is still connected, or I was connected to my higher conscious person, my higher self, I should say, and they were walking like 3 feet in front of me. But it was like I was not in my body. And I wasn't entirely in my body. It's so weird. I don't know how to explain it. But I felt taller. Like I felt like I was probably 8 feet tall. And it was like I was in two places at once. I don't know how to explain it. And I wasn't entirely in my body. I was partially outside of my body. And I was bigger, like I was taller, and I was walking in front of myself. Like, it's so trippy. I don't know how else. So I think that this is happening more and more. And a couple times, even when I was driving, it wasn't dangerous or anything, but I could feel that I was partially outside my body, partially inside my body. I've been feeling this a lot lately. And even a few times when I was on my trip out to Minneapolis, I didn't feel like I was fully in my body. And so this is what's happening now. And I'm like, I'm unplugging, and I'm leveling up. Like I'm still trying to figure out some things, but it's definitely trippy. But I also feel like another reason why I know that I'm not going to be here much longer is because the shoulder pain, the last time I had this pain was when I was driving coach bus. And it got so bad that it pinched a nerve in my shoulder, and I lost some function of my hand because I couldn't lift my fingers up any higher than this. Like, I couldn't lift them all the way. And it took 3 years for it to heal. Like, I couldn't lift my fingers any higher than this. And up until a year ago, at times this hand would lock up. It would just lock up, and I was like, oh my gosh. And, but now, like, it's fine. But when this pain started again, sometimes his hand would go numb, and I'm like, oh my God, not again. So I also feel like this driving taxi job, this is a sign also that it's going to end soon, because I can't be driving anymore. I don't want to hump back, okay? And I'm trying to work on better posture, because when you're a driver and you're like this all the time, and you're like, yeah, I'm starting to get like, it's not good. I don't like it. I don't want to be an old granny with a humpback. I don't want that. So I'm working on better posture, as you can see. So, and doing certain exercises to stretch it out. And I think this is a sign for me that I'm going to be done with this job soon. And when I get out to Arizona, I do need to find a part-time job, but I think I'm going to do a barista job. I love coffee. I know how to make coffee. I used to work for Starbucks years ago, so I know how to make espresso. I might be a little rusty, but I don't think I'm going to drive anymore. I'd love to have a barista job or working at a bakery. I saw an advertisement in Sedona about a gluten-free bakery shop. Like, that's where I want to be. I want to be there. So I'm like, ooh. So if this roommate thing works out, I'm totally going to give those people a call about that job. But a part of me is like, maybe I should just pack up everything and go. Just go. But the problem is I don't have a car. I have my moped. And like, what am I going to do? I'm take a U-Haul out there and like, what am I going to do with all my stuff? I don't know. Put it in a pods maybe? That's just cost extra money. If I have a place to go to before I get there, maybe I'll make a trip out there before I move. I'm seriously considering that. I might just take a trip where I spend a few days there so I can find a job, find an apartment with hopefully this girl's a good match and we click really well. Then yeah, I'll fly out there, get the apartment, get the job, whatever, and then fly back, pack up and leave. So I just wanted to share with you because a lot of us are going through a lot of transformation right now. A lot of us are releasing people and things of the past. Get rid of anything. You need to be detached. Detach from anything or anyone that is holding you back from your highest. What are your dreams? This is the best time to manifest those dreams. We are entering the age of Aquarius. Okay, the age of Aquarius, the age of enlightenment. And the higher frequency this planet gets, the faster we get at manifesting. You know, what do you want to see? You want to manifest a world of peace and community and joy and abundance for everyone. I want that. I want people to be healed from their pain. I want people to live in pain-free bodies and heal their trauma and live in the house that they want. Create the garden that they want. Create the masterpieces of art that they desire to, you know? And this is what I want. And my job is to, yes, I'm serving you, but get off my floaty. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to serve others. But in order for me to serve others to the best of my ability, I need to take care of myself too. So, and the same for you. Everybody needs, it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not selfish to do what you want to do. It is not. It means that you love yourself enough to take the time for yourself, to take the effort for yourself, to heal yourself. It's not selfish, okay? But yes, we all have responsibilities. Those of you who are parents, you have a responsibility to your children to be the best version of yourself. It is about them, but it's also about you, and you need to remember that. They need you to be the best version of yourself so that they can be the best version of themselves. When you are healed, they can heal. When you are healed, they can thrive. They can have the confidence in you. They can have confidence in themselves. look at mommy and daddy go. They're so happy, and they're healing, and look at them, and they'll see you, and they'll see that healing. They'll see it, and they'll see you doing what's good for you, so they will do what's good for them. They you are their example, and they are going to follow that example, because when you do the best for yourself and they see the miracles that happen, the beauty that happens from loving yourself, they're going to want that too. Their children are going to say, hey, Mom, what did you do? How did you change your... Why are all these wonderful things happening for us? All these things are happening so perfectly and great timing. Everything is just rolling out perfectly. What's happening? All of a sudden something's changed. You said, and then you tell your child, you know why? Because I decided to love myself, and I decided I wanted the best life for me and for you. And your child's gonna go, wow, mommy really loves me, and my daddy really loves me because he did that. So think about that. This is giving me chills. So yeah, anyways, hang in there. I guess whenever these solar flares are happening, you need to just take deep breaths, because I can feel them. I'm super sensitive. It's another thing I've been noticing, especially when I'm taxi driving, and as soon as someone enters the vehicle, it's like, whoa. Like, I can feel... I'm so sensitive now. I'm a lot more sensitive now than I was before, like even a week ago. It's like as soon as I enter the car, it's like I'm affected. And so I'm like, violet light, clear, clear, clear. And I'm constantly like, doing light language in my head, going, gotta go, I'm doing that in my head usually. See, I just made the camera blur. That's energy, people. So that's another thing. My light language, like, I've really come into that, like, strongly, and some people might get really weirded out by it. It's language that is high frequency, and it comes from multiple sources, higher selves, past lives. Your light language can come from past lives as well. I know I had a past life in Nepal. Lately I've been having a lot of memories of that, and I've been gravitated a lot to some Hindu stuff lately, and it's funny because a couple of weeks ago, I was watching on Gaia TV about Krishna Das. Like, I never heard of him before. And I was watching this documentary about him, and I just was like so gravitated. I felt it with my heart, and I was crying, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, why does this feel so familiar? And then I started looking up kirtan and chanting and all that stuff, and about learning more about Krishna and Vishnu and Shiva and all that. And I'm like, I found this one chant, and I just dove right into it, like as if I've sung it before. I already knew the words. It was crazy. Like, I was just already I knew the words. It's like, I'm like, I feel like I've sung this before. So, like, it literally gave me goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps right now. But, yeah. So I know that, and I was told this years ago, when I had my awakening, I had a past life reading done by somebody else, and they said, oh, you had a life in Asia. You were really spiritual. This is a long, long time ago. Around 1100s. 1100. AD. Yeah, 1100 AD. And they were somewhere over in Asia. And I've always been drawn to Nepal and Mount Everest and that whole area. And I knew I had a life in the mountains. I knew it was in the mountains. And there was like rice fields or something that we were growing. I led a very spiritual life. Very secluded, very spiritual, and yeah. And there, between, like, you're literally on the border of India and Nepal, right? And you have Hinduism, and then you have, what's the other one? It's Hindu and, I can't think of it now. Gosh, what's the other one? Why am I not thinking of it? Anyway, yeah, there's something else, but I can't remember what it was. So I was like, yes. So I actually found the mountain range and the village. I'm like, this is it. I was on Google Earth and I was looking it up and I'm like, that's it. That's where I was. I looked at in the 3D version and I'm like, that's it. This is exactly where I was. I just, like, I was literally vibrating when I was viewing. I'm like, this is it. This is it. Like, like my whole body was like electrifying. And I knew that that's where I was. So, and it's absolutely beautiful. So now I'm like kind of getting into some, a little bit of Hinduism, but I'm not conforming to any religion. Okay. I don't want anyone, I'm not conforming or changing any myself. I'm spiritual. That's what I am. I'm spiritual. I'm nothing else. I don't want to define myself. I've always felt uncomfortable with defining myself to anything. You know, even when I was in some relationships, I didn't want to define it until I knew for sure that I really wanted to be in this relationship. You know, but anyway, that's past. But yeah, I don't define myself to any religion. I'm spiritual. That's it. But you know, there's different aspects of different religions that I relate to pretty well. A little bit of this and a little bit of that, you know, and I find what feels right for me. So, and that's what I want all of you to do. Find what feels right for you. And there should be no judgment because we're all on this journey together. Okay, so I'm going on an hour, so I think I'm going to end it because I know my battery is going to go down. So I just want to end this. I love you all, and just hang in there. Please message me if you need any. I mean, yeah, don't hang on to my floaty, but, you know, if you want, I can put an hour and a half hour of your time, $25 for a half an hour, $50 for an hour for a session with me. We can go into anything you want, whether it's past lives, whether it's healing, whether it's learning how to meditate, whatever you want to do. A tarot reading, I don't care. If you want to contact loved ones, we can do that. Like, whatever it is you want. $25 for a half hour, $50 for an hour. Also, another thing I want to say, my oracle cards, they're on the way. They should be here next week. It's taking 2 weeks to get here. But they're being printed, and as soon as I get my hands on my oracle cards, I'm going to do a video with a reading and everything. I'm so excited. They are super lit. They're so beautiful. And I can't wait to show you guys. And the price for those are $47.50. And that is the cost of shipping and the printing. And then, you know, some cost for me for making it. So that's the cost of everything. The shipping and everything. $47. So, yeah. And you can find that in my Etsy shop, which I'm going to post in a link in this video. So thank you all for listening and being here. and I wish you all the best. Please comment and follow and like, and everybody says that. Please don't forget to like. I've never been that kind of person to be like my video. Like, do what you want. Whether you want to like it or not, I don't care. I'm not about gaining tons and tons of followers. That's not what this is about. I'm here to just be here. And, you know, if you guys resonate with what I'm saying, great. Follow, like, whatever. You can also find me on Facebook under KellyNichole. Yeah. So anyways, I love you all. Peace, love. Have a great week and hang in there. I'll keep you guys posted. Yeah, my next video is probably going to be the Oracle card. So bye for now.